What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So, now that you've watched that long intro and you enjoyed the beautiful montage, I'm sure you know what I'm about to make, which is a snake print flared pants. This is another episode of So It Goes with my homegirl Shania. Wait, hold up, pause. Now, as y'all know from the intro episode, this was supposed to be the same fabric and different style challenge.
Ooh, yes!
Same
fabric, different.
But unfortunately, due to schedule differences, we couldn't do that. So what we did was a fabric swap. We bought fabric for one another where we didn't know, and we would have to make something out of it. She bought me this beautiful stretch snake print, and at first I was gonna make like a bathing suit, but then I'm like, I'm not really with posting a bathing suit on YouTube or on social media. So I automatically went to Pinterest and saw all these dope summer flared pants. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna make myself one and should teach you guys how to make one too. So let's start the tutorial. Before we do that, you already know what the deal is. I need you guys to go subscribe to my channel, like this video, thumbs it up. You can also follow me on my social media accounts. Instagram and Facebook is where you can find me. Now let's get really into this tutorial. I'm going to take a pair of stretchy trousers I own from Uniqlo. You could take anything stretchy. You could use leggings, but all my leggings are actually more tighter. I wanted something a little more loose. People don't really pay attention to the part where that seam right here differentiates the front from the back, because if you look at your pants, the front is shorter than the back, and that's very important because for girls with wider hips or butts, they need a higher rise in the back for their butt when they sit down. So that's why I think my tutorial will purposely show you the difference of using your pant when you're cutting it. Just make sure you get that seam for the front right there, and then you fold it there, and then you put it. I'm gonna fold the waistband because we don't need the waistband. Now I'm going to take my yardstick ruler and measure the inseam of my pant. My pant here is a narrow crop pant, but of course we're making a flared pant, so it's gonna be longer, and I'm going to create the shape of that flared pant. My inseam was about 34 inches in length because I'm pretty tall. So I'm going pretty down or further down the length of the yardstick. After I do that, I'm going to mark all the important areas, which is the side of the pant, the side seam, that hip area, the corners of where the waist starts, as well as that crotch seam. I'm making all those marks. As I make those marks, once I get to the knee portion of where my pant is, I'm going to create a mark there to indicate that knee, and then I'm going to make sure I mark that in order for me to flare out my pant, because at the end of the day, my pant is a flared pant and the pant that I'm using is not flared. Now I'm going to take my curve ruler to start connecting all the marks I created. So I'm creating the curve of the crotch seam, the slight curve of the waistband, the curve of the hip, as well as any other slight curves. And not only are you going to need a curve ruler, you're going to also be using your hip ruler as well as a regular ruler to create the length. Now you can start to see how the pant is starting to look, the shape of the pant pattern. Now we begin to cut the pant. So after you finish cutting your pant, you're going to take one piece of that front pant, put the other one to the side, toss it somewhere, and then you're going to place that front pant on your fabric again, face down, face up, doesn't matter. I would suggest you do it face up so you can contrast it from the wrong and the right. But we need this in order to create our back pattern because it's going to be similar, just a few key differences. Now, when I tell you this fabric was cool, but also a hassle at the same time, it definitely was. Because I'm using a stretch spandex fabric, when you cut it and stretch it slightly, it just starts to roll up on you. So if you have a fabric similar to mine, you're going to have to pin the actual fabric together so it can start unraveling. And also you're going to have to pin your pattern down as close to it as possible. Use weights or a pin, but just to keep the fabric from rolling up on you so you can get a really accurate pattern when cutting your back pattern. So the first mark you're going to do for your back pant is the crotch seam. You have to make sure you do an indication for the crotch seam because one, we're going to make it longer and extend it from the front pant. Reason why it's so long is because we all got booties, and at the end of the day, you don't want to be having to keep pulling up your pant. You need room when you're sitting down, exercise, moving around, and twerking. So that's why. I extended mine's about 3/4. Here's how mine look like. If you got a bigger bunk, even go longer than that. Trust me, you want all the room you can get. So here's where I freeze the clip so I can really break down marking how we're going to create the back. And also I lost kind of the footage for the rest of the stuff. But basically what you're going to do is after you extend that crotch, you're going to make a line going down towards the inseam. Then you're also going to extend the crotch above at the back for the back of your pant. It has to be higher at that crotch because you have a lot more butt room. And then you're just going to blend that line higher up down to the side seam like I did here. Now we can cut out our back pant and get this show started. Now back to this rolling mess of a fabric. I'm going to put some weights on it and we're going to create our waistband. I'm going to take my pant and I'm going to copy that top part of the front pant. I want to create a curved waistband, for my shapely girls. And you just get a better waistband that's going to be fitted to the shape of your waist. As I mark that, I'm going to get closer so you guys can see. I'm going to connect all my marks, my dashes, to create that waistband. And then I'm going to take up that side seam 3 inches using a ruler to create the length of my waistband. Here's how your waistband should look when you unravel it from being folded. You're going to place that waistband again down on your fabric, pin it because it's probably rolled up like mine, and we're going to cut 3 more pieces because we need the front and back of the waistband doubled up. Now take your front pant and sew that crotch seam together. Should also do the same thing with your back pants as well. So the back pant together. Now I have both sewn. We're going to open them up. We're going to open these pants up. You're going to place the back pant on top of the front pant, and we're going to begin pinning the side seams for the pants. Okay, so now I've sewn the side seam of my pants, and I'm going to sew the inner seam of my pants. Once you've sewn your inner seam, this is how your pants should be looking inside out. We're going to flip it the right way now. Once you flipped it inside out, I suggest you try it on, do a fitting if you're making this for yourself, like I did here. And then after that, you're going to take it in and place your label. If you have a label, this is a good time to start placing your label at that back seam like I'm doing here. Right now is the best time to make sure that you make all the adjustments you need. My pants were very stretchy, so I took them in even more at the side seams. Now I'm going to take my waistband. I have 4 pieces. Of course, this fabric kind of rolls up, so you're going to have to press it out. But I ain't doing that right now. So after 20 minutes of struggling with this waistband to get it flat, and I sped it up in this clip, I finally got to the part that's important, which is pinning the side seam. Let's pin the side seams, you guys. After you pin those side seams, sew them up at the machine. So here is one waistband sewn. I had to put some weights on it so you can kind of see it. I did the same thing with the other waistband. Now we're gonna put them together and sew them. Once you've sewn that, this is how it should look like. Flip your waistband the correct way and begin to prepare to pin it to your pant and sew the waistband to your pant. Once you've completed that, this is how your waistband should be looking. Get started on hemming those pants, and then you're on your merry way to wearing them. Here's how my pants looked. I hemmed them with a cover stitch machine so it can have a really professional finish. And I'm ready to be out this summer in my snake print flared pants. So you've made it to the end, so go on over and watch the next video, and also make sure to subscribe to my homegirl Shania and check her video out. Thanks for watching.